Chapter 1, Shadows Beneath Bloomsbury, London. Present day, beneath the surface of Bloomsbury, the rain tapped gently on the glass of the second-story window of a narrow flat. Tucked between two Georgian buildings, Thomas Graves sat hunched over a cracked leather-bound journal on his desk, the dim yellow glow of a desk lamp bathing his pale features in uneven light. Dust floated lazily in the air, disturbed only when he turned a page. Thomas was a researcher of the arcane and the obscure. Most people wrote him off as eccentric. He preferred curious. He'd spent the last 6 months chasing the whisper of something few dared to acknowledge, the vanished library of London. It had begun as nothing more than a rumor buried in a letter he'd found among his late grandfather's belongings. The letter spoke of a library buried beneath Bloomsbury, lost after a fire in 1794 and intentionally erased from all records. Thomas believed in stories that others called fiction, and belief had led him here, to a location marked with a faint red X on a centuries-old parchment map, 24 Dunning Lane. He closed the journal, stood, and pulled on his coat. It was time. 24 Dunning Lane, midnight. The building didn't exist on modern maps. It stood between two shops, a forgotten brick void, overgrown with ivy and grime. The door was iron-bound oak, weathered by time. A symbol was carved into its center, a closed eye surrounded by 7 thorns. Thomas ran his fingers over the carving, sealed but watching. A sudden breeze swept through the alley, and the door creaked open on its own. Torchlight in hand, Thomas stepped inside. The air shifted. Warm and stale, he descended a crumbling staircase beneath the building, deeper into silence. The walls were lined with stone, flickering with mold and dampness, and then, suddenly, space. He emerged into a massive underground chamber. Bookshelves rose like pillars, hundreds of them, reaching toward a dark ceiling. The scent of old paper and mildew overwhelmed his senses. Time was heavy here, thick like honey. His light danced across shelves lined with books bound in strange leathers and inks that shimmered like beetle shells. And in the center of the room, atop a marble pedestal, lay a book untouched by time. Enter Amelia Hart. Just as Thomas reached for it, a voice rang out. "I wouldn't touch that if I were you." He spun, startled. Woman stood near the entrance, holding a flashlight and a rolled-up scroll under one arm. Her trench coat was soaked, and her auburn hair clung to her face. "Who are you?" Thomas asked. "I could ask the same," she replied. "But I'm guessing you're here for the same reason I am. The library." She stepped closer, extending a hand. "Dr. Amelia Hart, historian, specializes in lost structures." Thomas shook it reluctantly. "Thomas Graves, independent researcher." Amelia smirked. "Of course you are." Elliot appears before another word could be spoken. The air shifted again. A soft humming filled the space, childlike, melodic, not from any visible source. Then footsteps. From behind a shelf, a boy appeared, no older than 10. He wore an old-fashioned sailor suit, muddy and torn. At his bare feet left wet prints on the stone floor. His face was pale, eyes distant. Thomas and Amelia froze. "Hello," Thomas called gently. "Are you all right?" The boy tilted his head. "The books are hungry," he whispered. "They remember everything." And then he vanished, not ran, not walked, simply vanished into a thin mist that sank into the cracks in the floor. Amelia cursed under her breath. "Did you see that?" Thomas whispered. "Oh, I saw it," she replied. "I've seen worse. But this confirms it." The legends were true. The first sign of the curse. Suddenly, every book in the room trembled. One flew open, then another. Pages turned violently, as if a gust of invisible wind passed through. The central pedestal began to glow faintly, that same book now pulsing like a heartbeat. Thomas reached forward, compelled. "No," Amelia shouted, grabbing his arm. "This is what they want." "Who?" he asked. Before she could answer, a voice echoed from the shadows, deep-layered, neither male nor female. "Readers disturb. The forgotten must not be awakened." Then silence.